everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Jules. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a food photographer and stylist and author. And every single Saturday, we sit here for an hour and a half and we chat and we talk about our weeks that was and our week that's coming up. And generally have a good time. If you don't want to plan, you can journal, you can do art, you can meal plan, you can do whatever. Just hang out with me for an hour and a half and let's have a chit chat while I plan my upcoming week in my Jibun Techo biz. And I might do set up, get Monday ready in my days. I don't know yet. So I had a week. I had a very exciting week. Okay, first I need to talk about the weather. So we haven't done that in a while. On Monday, it was so hot, and not as hot as the East Coast of the US had last week, but on Monday, it was 15 degrees Celsius at 9 p.m., which is 15 times 2 is 30 minus 20% is, or 10% is 27 plus 32. So like 60 degrees at 9 p.m., which is hot. I did a thing on Wednesday. I made a Hobonichi order for some, not one, not two, but 3 Hobonichi weeks. And I will talk about that later. Oh, and then also really exciting this week um, is that it was decided that on Monday, this upcoming Monday, I'm finally going out on sub with my contemporary YA. Feels like forever, but there was publishing took an early holiday. Like a lot of editors stopped accepting closed down to submissions in like November, and they're just now opening up again. So, yeah, on a Thursday was really exciting. I got the sub list for me to go over to see what editors and publishers were submitting to. Picked up my new glasses, which was awesome. I can see again. And I got the pitch letter as well. That's going out to editors on Monday, and I am so excited about that. Yeah, so this week was exciting for lots of different reasons. But let me do my priority for this week. My priority is still, and this is on top of doing my recipe development and what else did I have going on this week? Lots of recipe development. Had to get blood work. Oh, I was doing some consultation work this week, and once I was done that on Thursday, I had to take the rest of the day off. It was some really emotionally taxing work that I had to do. Yeah, we started watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith last night on Amazon, and we only are 2 episodes in, and it's fun. It is really fun. At first, we were kind of like hesitant. Hello, Anomic. Glad to see you again too. Where were you last week? What were you up to? How have you been hanging on with extreme weather over there on the East Coast? Tell me, what have I missed in your life over the last 2 weeks? To do this week, film, flip, and I'm gonna finish. I have some other consultation work that I'm hoping to finish this week. Finish PPOC consults. Hoping to do that this week. You were sick? Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Continue on de-stash. Yeah, de-stash. Edit. I may or may not be able to get to all of this week because I also glad you feel better. I also have so many meetings and appointments this week. Edit these dash and continue. My head keeps popping in there. Huh. Continue. Etsy. Etsy listings. Store's open. Got a handful of listings. Gotta do more. And then cookbook dev. Cookbook. Doing this first before dealing with my schedule. I hope was it the panini or was it some other illness that got you? What am I doing this week? Oh yes, haha. Some more ganache week. Okay, I gotta tuck this away before I do this. I love this week is gonna be delicious. Singing songs about my baking. Okay, back to, here we go. Just a regular cold. Good. I mean, like, not good that you had a cold, but like I'm glad it was not the other thing. So ganache and the rum syrup and banana cake. That reminds me I have to take out a banana tomorrow. Banana cake, honeycomb cake. And oh, come on. This is all getting all stuck together. This. What else? Okay, so I want you use one or more Hobonichi weeks, right? What do you use with your Hobonichi weeks? I'm going to talk about my Hobonichi order in a few minutes. Is that everything for this week? Yes. Okay, put this away. And I'll show you what I have done also in a minute. Oh, man. Okay, so dog food making days will be Tuesday and Friday. You never got into the weeks. Okay. So, I think I should talk about, oh my god, the weeks. I got the covers I wanted. April starts, because they went on sale. Like, as soon as 6 p.m. Pacific hit, I was on the Hobo site and making my order before the covers that I wanted were no longer available. Anomic is saying that they stuck with the cousin and now they're using the common planner. Okay, so there have been a few instances where I've been wanting to remember exactly, especially during rewatches, like what was the last episode I watched or something. And I know I'm doing, and it's funny because okay, so let me back up. At one point when I was doing my Techo Gaigi for this year, I thought that I was going to use my Midori MD notebook as kind of like a media journal. So I could have put like book covers, like keep better and make notes about what I'm reading and what I'm watching. I'm not going to keep track of music or podcasts or any of that because I listen to music all day long and that would be meaningless, and podcasts I don't really listen to. So I thought at one point that I bought stickers specifically so I could print off covers and like posters for movies and stuff. Because I thought I would use it as a media journal. Because that is something I've been actually wanting to think about more. But then I decided to use it for something else that I'm still in the process of setting up, that hopefully I will have a video for it soon. And then I started subscribing to a YouTuber, which I cannot think of their name, and they use weeks for um, a media journal. I'm like, oh, I like the way you do it. I can do that. I can maintain that. So I decided that I still had, instead of using the weeks, I decided, because I still had Traveler's Notebook insert, like the free, like the weeks plus memo that you put your own dates in. And so I thought I can use this as well as I had a grid insert just hanging around. And I thought I will make my own system. And then I also realized that there's some health things that are not fitting that I have to track now as my health has gotten more complicated, as if that's a thing. I need to, and I need to take some better tracking of stuff, and I don't have enough room in my current system to do that. I'm running, and when I make notes, like in my daily journal about some health things, it's like, how am I going to recall that? Like, so I thought, okay, so the first half of this is going to be media, journal. The second half is going to be health. And I don't have to worry about accidentally like showing sensitive stuff when I'm doing a monthly flip, because I can keep at least the health part secret. And then for longer notes, again, this will be divided half and half. And I can have like both health and media. I started and I thought I do this for 2 months, 3 months, whatever. And if I can do it for daily, then I can absolutely have a week's. But pretty quick, and I have my own covers that I've sewn, like that I thought I get to use. I really miss using my traveler system, and I have stuff. I can do this very quickly. Things that I loved about the traveler system, I no longer like about it. Like the paper. I'm not a fan of the paper. I'm not a fan of the fact that I have to really work to keep it open. And I'm just like, and I know the weeks are skinnier than this, so I might not have enough room. I think with the extra pages I might. So I decided, because it's the same price as it would be for me to keep having to buy refills. It's actually more expensive to buy the refills for a year's worth for both tracking health and media than buying the weeks. And it has the flat lay, it has the paper I like. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room, but we'll see. So one of the weeks is going to be a media journal, and that's something I can share. And the other one is going to be health stuff. Like, I'll still have some health stuff in my days, but it will be health stuff that are more sensitive, that I might not necessarily want the internet to see while I am doing my monthly flips. And if I don't use them, they're relatively inexpensive, and I can find something else to use them for. And then I bought a third. And I don't know what I'm going to use the third for, but I really wanted it. But so I like the cover, and I'm like, I need this cover. I need it. So, I mean, like, the things that I'm going to track in my health, it's like more like a health and wellness, and like, so some stuff for my fitness person. Symptomology stuff I have to track for my doctors. Oh boy. I know, right? I have to, and then I'm gonna put like pictures of my animals, things that like lift my mood, that are really, that keep me happy for when I'm stressed, because I have to. I was thinking maybe I can do like a hobby journal, but I'm like, no, I will never keep track of that. So anyways, I've been finding doing the health tracking and the media tracking in the Midori every day, in the Traveler's Notebook every day, manageable. I just hate it. I mean, I won't say hate. That's a really strong word. I've just gotten so used to the thin paper and the flat lay that going back to something that is like work to use. Is that your justification? What part specifically are you asking about, Anomic? Uh, I want to put this right here, sub day, because I have to write up here what I'm cooking that day. What specifically, and then grocery delivery. Listen, I tried to use. Listen, I say to you, like you're accusing me of something. I tried to use what I had on hand, and I'm still going to use it until April because I have to use something until April. But after, like, these two refills, once I'm done with them in April, cost as much as a Hobonichi weeks for the whole entire year. So doing this, and I would have to buy, yeah, so doing this 4 times every single year is like buying 4 Hobonichi weeks. It's the same cost because these are $10 each here. And the Hobonichi weeks is like $23. So when you look at it that way, I'm actually spending less money by buying 3 Hobonichi weeks versus buying 8 of these refills every single year. So that is like the biggest thing, and I will enjoy using it, is how I see it. Milk delivery. That's that. So I just don't know what I'm going to use the third for. I have to think of something. And these will be used. Like, it's not like I'm abandoning this once my hobos arrive, because they're an April start. So I still have to use these until April, February, March. So, yeah. These will still get used. Still have to finish setting it up. What else do I have this week that needs to go in there? Milk deadline. In case I want to change my order. And birthdays. Oh, I got some birthdays this week. It's the dog's birthday. Ziggy and Archer are going to be 9 years old on the 6th. Anomic is saying, hey, I understand. I know you do. I'm just teasing, just like you're teasing me. Archer and Ziggy 9th. I have to leave room for when I'm baking that day. Ooh, that's really messy. That's fine. I don't care. Do I have any other birthdays this week? No. Okay. So, continuing Adam prep. Oh, come on. I'm hoping. Also, another thing that I'm really iffy on is that even with this more toothy paper, sometimes this pen works really, really well, and other times it's still skippy and scratchy. Like, this is half on the page and half off. Like, I have to be I can't write relaxed with this pen. And I'm really torn about, do I buy new refills and keep the body and have all, like, de-stash the ones that I have, but I don't want to subject other people to this ink. Do they get special dog treats for their birthday? No, because that would require a lot of extra hours on my part to cook them, because they can't have anything store-bought. They are Ziggy more so than Archer. But Ziggy's whole entire body breaks out in hives, and his ears become red and inflamed and infected anytime they have anything, like the smallest amount of store-bought cookies, even hypoallergenic ones. That's one of the preservatives, and we don't know what. When Ziggy had his stitches taken out, we forgot to give the vet the rice cakes that they have for treats, and so they gave him a little piece of a dog biscuit, and immediately within 2 days his ears were infected and he had a full body skin infection. So it sucks. That's, yeah. I mean, we might give them before they go to bed at night every single night. They like normally they have plain rice cakes and they love them. Beagles will eat anything. And before bed, and this started because after the surgery, we had to give them their anti-inflammatories before bed, and you have to give out with some food so it doesn't upset their stomach. And so we would give them, oh shoot, Jules, this is breakfast here. Oh well, I screwed that up. That's what happens when I don't outline it first. Um, gosh, gotta put that up. That's fine. Um, Peanut butter and a little bit of peanut butter with a rice cake. Yes, they can have peanut butter. That's what I was just saying. They have peanut butter in the dog food that we make them. So we might give them um, dose of an extra dose, like an extra bigger glob of peanut butter than they usually get at bedtime. What time is my doctor's appointment on Wednesday? Gotta make sure my break is still happening at the same time. Wednesday, not that Wednesday, 7th. Oh, wow, it's early. 10:10. Ooh, that sucks. Okay, so, yeah, Dr. D. 10:10. For some reason, I thought it was later. That's fine. That is fine. Can you make rice cake with PB frosting? Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'll do something like that. I don't know, but something like that. That meeting is at 7, and I have a meeting on Thursday. Oh, this is my week where everything is all different. This is NDP meeting, and then Thursday my meeting is at... Oh, I hate weeks like this where my break time is like all over the place. This is at 2:30. Food meeting. Okay, down. So, at least from here on, my break is normal. And then, do my break. Yes, I need to eat before my meeting. Last time I didn't do that, and that was a mistake. And then I just have to put a little arrow here. Let me do my life plan with me. And then just an arrow here. So I know where I'm putting the washi tape when it comes time. I've already made such a mess of this week. Okay. That's my meetings for this week, I think. No, not my email. Let me go back to the week view. I'm just so... I haven't been able to stop reading the letter that's going out on to pitch my book to editors on Monday. I can't believe it's happening. Okay. Everything is like a dream. I didn't think, like, it's just been so long in the waiting. I've been done this book since July, and it's only now, and it just has to do with how slow, extra slow, publishing is right now. everything is slow. It's taking like up to 6 months for contracts to be signed once they're negotiating and final, and normally it takes 1 or 2 months. Everything is so slow. So I don't know when I'll have news about this, and it's going to be torture. And it's just like, good luck, um, my concentration. So I'm on a deload week this week. So short exercises, and I have to put what I'm doing. So this is weights plus hit. Journal. It is so nice being able to write again and actually see what I'm writing now that I have new glasses. My prescription change was like, I knew it was dramatic. It was like the degree to which my prescription changed from this prescription to my last prescription 2 years ago was what my very first prescription was. And my very first prescription was strong. And that was when I was 12. And so it was the same dramatic effect as when I put on glasses for the very first time and could see leaves again. And the fact that I hadn't, um, yeah, the fact that I could even do anything, and it was like the last week or so I couldn't do anything. It was like so bad. But it's like I can actually like see looking through my glasses without having to like do gymnastics of looking over them and all sorts of other things I would have to do to be able to see. Exercise on Thursday. Oops. Is weights plus hit for my deload. I'm so glad I'm in a deload week. Yeah, it is a huge relief and I'm to be able to see clearly. And it was amazing. Like as soon as I put the glasses on, my eyes instantly relaxed. And like I knew my eyes were straining. I could feel it. I was getting headaches all the time. I wasn't able to look at anything for more than 5 or 10 minutes before it became excruciatingly painful just because of how strained my eyes were to try and see. And just the instant relief. Like I swore. I'm like holy S word when I like and I whispered it so that it was just the person who was fitting my glasses and me, and I guess I didn't whisper it too much because everyone else in the store laughed. But it was so dramatic. It will be spin and yeah, it's just so nice. It's amazing. Yeah. Like I can journal again, and this isn't painful, and this isn't like torture. This will be weights and hits, and then so Anomik, are you only in the Common Planner? Do you have anything else? Keep looking at the Common Planner, and the grids are so light that I don't know. Yeah, so no, I'm back on my usual BS come Sunday. That's right. Okay, that's why I do that. This will be Voyager. Oh, I have a new show I think is premiering this week. Also, why I'm doing a media journal is because everything to keep track of what's premiering and when. Nope, that's not until the 15th. So I don't like putting it in my months. I like keeping the months out of view for appointments and stuff like that. And not necessarily for what start watching. Okay, Thursday will be what's it called? The Chicago. I can't spell all of a sudden. When all of a sudden, like how to spell a word that's super easy just flies out of your head. It just happened. Yep, just a common planner in your reading journal for now, trying to simplify. So is your reading journal just like a notebook? Voyager. what I'm going to do this hour. And I don't have to do anything. It's like meeting prep. Actually, yeah, that's what that will be. Here. Voyager. Oh, this is really interesting. So, watching Family Law, which is a Canadian show, and it's on the CW, and which is an American station. There's no Canadian station carrying it this year, which is really weird because it's a Canadian show. Anyways, the CW is showing a lot of CBC shows, and it's basically turned into the Canadian channel, which makes sense because there is no American shows, and the CW is like, instead of like trying to fill up time with um, game shows and stuff that we have to make up on the fly, let's import a bunch of Canadian media. And so it's been really interesting, and some of it they partnered with the CBC to produce. They're calling like some CBC originals CW originals, but it's like super interesting to me and nice to see all this Canadian media being imported into the US instead of the other way around. Okay, and then this will be 22 minutes. And run the Burbs. And Son of a Critch. And the last episode of Race Against. This will be Murdoch and Quantum Leap. Okay, so Monday, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I think on Thursday, we will be done Scribbles That Matters notebook. Cool. Thursday will be the last episode of. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or is there only 8? Search. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Just want to see how many episodes there are. Yeah, 8. So Monday will be done. Huh. Then what? Then what are we watching? That is the question. I'm so glad I've actually been remembering to write it down. Have a list. Okay. TV shows to watch. Absolutely Canadian. That's what we'll be watching. That's what I had scheduled. That's right. And then I crossed it out when I saw the advert on Amazon for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which seriously you have to watch. It's fun. Absolutely Canadian. Oops. Oh, come on, Jules. These aren't difficult words to spell. I also started to reread my book this morning just to see if I still like it. And it's not bad. I don't think I've ever had to reread, and this is, I think, the 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th time I've read it. And it still engages me. So, I'm hopeful about it when it goes out on submission. Uh-oh, isn't all there. Okay. Let's start doing some coloring. And I'm saying they need to find a comedy show to make my mind off the craziness happening. Ah, yes. Um, have you been? Murdoch is on Netflix. If you haven't been watching it, it's very funny. It's like a police procedural set at the end of the 1800s, early 1900s in Canada. Murdoch invents a lot of modern day inventions as he goes along. Everything from Facebook to Twitter to lots of things. I'm not going to give it all away. But it's funny and it's very lighthearted. And oh, I have not done everything. Um, Recipe Dev. I knew I was forgetting something. Admin. Recipe Dev. I thought this looked empty. Admin. Video. Admin. Then admin. Recipe Dev. Gosh, okay. Now, yeah, you've watched it before, but you don't know where you left off. Ah, what else could I recommend? Have you watched Ghosts? You should be able to stream back seasons of that somewhere, and a new season of that is starting soon. It's funny, and it's good. It's lighthearted comedy. There's a British one and an American one. And both of them are good. I don't know if you'll be able to get the British one in the US like we do. But it's good. What else? Just trying to think. Really, Jules, that's not how you normally do it, but okay. Oh yeah, that's right. If I can't get something done on Friday, then I do push it over to Saturday for the recipe dev. Saturday is a backup day. You haven't seen that one, you'll look it up. Cool. What else can I recommend? Just trying to think yeah. Most of the comedies I watch are Canadian comedies, and I don't know which ones are in the US. I know Son of a Critch is available in the US. I think it's on Netflix, but maybe not now that the CW is airing it. What else? You might have to dive in. Golden Girls, yes. We recently did that. Golden Girls is always good for I need to feel good and watch something that isn't completely cringe because the comedy is actually not that. When you rewatch old things, you're like, oof. No, that's problematic. I mean, there are some things about the Golden Girls that are problematic in hindsight, but overall, it is still very good. And a lot of the progressive messaging of Golden Girls is still things that people need to hear. So, what else? I mean, Schitt's Creek, that's always good for a rewatch, and that's on Netflix. If you haven't, and even a first-time watch if you haven't watched it yet. What else? Did I write my right in? Yes, I did. Oh, I wonder if you can get a hold of Corner Gas in the US. It's a Canadian comedy that takes place in a gas store, single camera, and it may not sound good, but it is. Like, why would I want to? Why would I want to? Yeah, it's good. Little Mosque on the Prairie is another Canadian comedy that if you can um, get your eyeballs on. Yeah, see, I don't watch many American comedies. So the comedy, a lot of times I find it punches down, and I don't find that funny. So I'm looking for my color code. Here it is. I'm social media creation N65. I think I still have one up here to use. Yep. So weird being able to see. I wonder how long I'm going to be completely unable to concentrate. You've never heard of that one either? Yeah, a lot of the Canadian comedy shows have not made the titles have not made it south of the border. And so, but they're always, when Americans watch them, they're very Canadian, and you get a really, really good idea of Canadiana, like of Canadian people. A lot of people may think, oh, that's just like these are stereotypes. I'm like, no, Canadians are actually like that. They're, so, like, here's a story that you would think is like a stereotype, but I had to go into the bank to cash a birthday check for my mother-in-law because it's a U.S. dollar check. I can't cash it via the banking app. You actually have to go into the bank for that. And so I went in. I was going in, and I pressed the button for the automated doors so that I could get my admin day. What color is that? Wheelchair in. And a person saw me, and as the door was opening, they like finished opening the door, and they looked at me and they said, "I don't trust these automatic doors, bud. Here you go." And it was just the peppering of the word "bud" in there because we all call each other "bud," "buddy," "pal." Um, "Pal" is normally like not is like calling someone a sweetheart in the South, like bless your heart type thing. Buddy sometimes can, the tone, buddy can go either way between a good meaning or a bad meaning. Bud is always good. And it was just so funny. It was like so quintessential Canadian. And Adam and Days and 79. Corner Gas is a bunch of moments like that. I mean, they play it a little bit up. They lean into the Canadian stereotypes hard at times, but they're all accurate, right? Like, every Canadian has had the types of moments that are in corny gas, even Canadians that live in bigger metropolis areas. Okay, put that back, and then, I mean, this isn't really a deadline, but I want this to stand out. Watch your step, pal. Yeah, something like that. Or look where you're going, buddy. Yeah, like that. Exactly. Um, it's not really a deadline, but I think I want it in a deadline color just so that it stands out in 60. I mean, it's not my deadline. But this is an important day. Now, let's go to, this is 990. Go to this color. I'm almost getting nervous about Monday. It's like, I'm not worried about rejection. I'm worried that they're going to like it, always. And it's such a weird thing that no one understands. But I can deal with rejection. Dealing with a compliment is still something I struggle with. And then what? Nothing else this week feels wrong. Feels like I'm missing something. I feel like this week is empty, that I'm not busy, which is like farthest from the truth. I mean, just the recipe development stuff alone is a lot of time. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I think I forgot something. I will color in the outline of that later. Breakfast. Oh, down here. That's already the right color, so I don't have to worry about that. What else? Yeah. What else to talk about? I had my blood work last week. And you know, just once, I would like it to come back without it being something. To be like, why isn't that working? At least I have one of my specialist appointments is on Wednesday to discuss some of the, like, it's not serious. Nothing to, like, be worried about per se. But it is, there's a mystery. And I don't know if it's because my autoimmune disorder is, like, in full out, I'm wreaking havoc on my body right now, that's causing some unusual levels for something that shouldn't be unusual considering the amount of medication that I'm on to treat it. But my body is just completely deciding recently that it's going to rebel against everything. And then, yes, here, gosh. I don't like it when it's all stairs like this. I mean, it'll look interesting when there's washi tape here. The steps. Yeah, that's outlined. Okay, this needs to be outlined. Like a domino effect of sort. Yeah, like I'm wondering that. So one of my medications, and this is what I have to talk with my specialist on Wednesday, is done with a transdermal patch. And I'm just wondering if the fact that my skin is compromised right now because of my autoimmune disorder, if maybe it's not absorbing the medication like it's supposed to. Even if I don't see a lot of active inflammation where I have the transdermal patch, but it was recently one of my worst sites, and being treated with other medication. Anyways, it's just, it's weird. It's really weird. I looked at my blood work results and like that makes no sense. These levels should not be this low. What is going on? admin time, 52. Sometimes I wish I could be not so cryptic about this stuff, but there's a thing, too often people are not, or they're irresponsible when they come to dispensing of medical stuff online. And I'm like saying, sometimes it's hard to untangle these things. Yes, it is. I mean, and that's the thing as well. When you have an autoimmune disorder, it's just like, we don't know. And we're just going to do our best to continue to treat the symptoms. Like, we don't treat values. Like blood values is, to pinpoint sometimes is an omics. Yeah. And that's why often, especially specialists, they don't treat blood values and blood results. They treat symptoms. And so, like, even when my blood values for this were high and maybe even abnormally high, we still kept me on the medication because I was still having symptoms, right? Like, blood values are not the end all and be all when it comes to treating things. Because there is the range of norm, and then individual bodies, especially when they have autoimmune disorders, can have atypical norms, is what they're called. And with a lot of my blood values, especially my white count, I've never had an elevated white count when I've had infections, sometimes to almost fatal outcomes, because I've been sent home from the emergency room saying everything is fine, there's nothing here, when I've had a really hot appendix almost ready to rupture, as an example of ways that you can't go by my blood values. And so, meeting time N75. And this could just be another one of that issue. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be treated for something for so many years and still not be stable. And having an immune system that's constantly like, oh, you think you're gonna put me to sleep? Nope, I'm stronger than you. N49. Which one is that? No, this one right here. Ah, there we go. Oh, nope, we gotta put that back. Is it N75 that I just grabbed? For meetings, yes. 65. It's tad in my hand. There we go. This meeting down here. Namek is saying that they can imagine that's frustrating. Yes. That is a word for it. It's also part of this is why I'm really trying to figure out a hobby for me to, not a new one, but I need to take up a hobby that I used to have. I need to make time for it. One that we've already discussed that I will not monetize. Because and this is part of why I have, like, my health journal might also be a hobby tracking journal. Like, it's just a general, I don't want to call it wellness, because wellness has that connotation to it that I do not like. But it is like my general well-being, exercise and actual health and medication things, and then don't know. I'm having a really difficult time figuring out something to do that I can do. Like I love cross stitching and needlepoint, but I can't do it to the extent I want to because of the arthritis in my hands. And I need something like that. Something that's rhythmic. Here's the problem. It's like I need something like cross stitch that doesn't involve my hands. Well, that doesn't exist. It's like I have all these oil paints, like maybe I'll take up oil painting again. And I have the canvases, like I have all the supplies. But again, I have to use my hands a lot for that. And then how do I keep the dog hair out of it? And then I have these dogs who are like, become very, because they've become creatures of my habit and routine. And so it also needs to be something that I can do, not necessarily while cuddling with them on the couch in the evening. Okay, I think it's 89 next. Yes. But maybe while lying down and watching stuff and cuddling with them, that can fit in seamlessly, which is, like, I feel like I'm probably asking for the impossible. I can do cross stitching on the couch. I have a stand where I don't even have to hold, like, the hoop, and I just have to put the needle back and forth through the cloth. And I'm saying they always feel like they want to learn to crochet, but then you don't start. I love crocheting. Unfortunately, things like crocheting and like I'm always amazed by people who can do, and this is part of my autistic. I can't move my body unless I actually like think how to do it. Like I can't passively do chores. I narrate everything I do, and it's the only way that I can get my body to actually physically move. And it's an autistic thing. So I can't listen to a podcast and clean the house. I can't listen people who can like knit or crochet while watching the TV and actually know what they're doing. I can't do that. It's physically impossible for me to do. And so, like, that's another, whatever I choose to do is going to take concentration away from something else. And so I wouldn't be able to do cross stitch on nights that I'm like watching a new episode of something. Like I can watch it with Voyager playing in the background as an example, or any Star Trek series, because I've watched them a billion times. I don't need to actively pay attention. But I can't do cross stitch while listening to a podcast because I would never hear what's being said on the podcast or an audiobook or any of that. I would never be able to drive and listen to an audiobook. I would crash the dang car if I was actually to like listen to what's being said in the audiobook. It's really frustrating. And I once explained this to my partner and they freaked out. And they're like, never ever again tell me that you have to pay that close attention to while you're driving, because then I know every time that we're talking in the car, you're not actually driving. And I'm like, correct. That is why I tell you, don't talk to me when I'm driving, because you're not helping. You're actually distracting me. It's like I'm going to get into an accident. Namik is saying that's interesting. I don't think about the folding of laundry while I listen to audiobooks. Yeah. See, I can't do those two things. It's like I literally, yeah. I can't do anything. I have to just sit and actively, yeah, it's frustrating. So I don't get a lot of things done that I have technically the free time to do, because my brain can only either move my body or pay attention. It can't do both. Why is my watch? Oh, it's saying it's lunchtime. So I'm trying to explain that to people. It's like, sure, I have all this free time, and like all this time that I'm watching something, I could be doing something, but not really. I mean, when we're doing rewatches of stuff, absolutely. So it's just trying to find something to do that I can do that doesn't like aggravate my my arthritis and tendonitis in my hands. Because heaven forbid I do something that results in me needing another surgery on my hands because I've overused them. It's frustrating. But I do need something. The fact that I'm on 4 different immunosuppressants, like heavy duty ones, and my autoimmune system is still in high gear. And my life is really just like, I'm not stressed right now, and that's the thing that really grabs me, that I think is even more frustrating to me, is that like what I'm doing right now, recipe development, I still have to rethink about how I'm going to do my photography business. I have to think about what clients, that's completely on pause right now as I figure out this. Because now that my psoriasis developed into the worst form, I have to be like hyper vigilant. So starting to feel like a chore trying to find, and the whole thing is like do things that don't feel like a chore. But it's starting, like, just that process alone of trying to find that thing to do to even make my life even that much more filled with joy is weird. And I'm hoping, I don't know, there's a weird part of me that, like, spending more time filling in my media journal every night, I have a little, like, lap table to use. I'm thinking about buying, like, a tote bag, not a tote bag, but like a diaper bag, but there's like craft ones specifically for crafts that have like little pockets to make myself like a journaling tote. And I found a few that I kind of like. They seem oddly expensive, like overpriced when I could buy a diaper bag. But the problem with a diaper bag is that it doesn't have the compartments, or at least ones that I've been able to find, and that don't look like a diaper bag, that aren't obviously you're carrying around a diaper bag. Okay, yes, this needs to be colored in. Let's color. Because I need to be able to make it easier. Like, here's some supplies that I can use on the couch with the dogs cuddling beside me. Hello, Jada. How are you? What are you working on? Namika saying, oh yeah, I just saw one today that I was looking at. Yeah, I have one on my Amazon wish list that I'm hem and hawing back and forth. Jada is saying they've been wanting a journal tote for some time, or some sort of pouch. They've been tossing stuff on 3-tier, like, or IKEA cart. Yes. So I looked at a 3-tier tossing stuff on a 3-tier IKEA cart. Yes. And I have something like that as well that I thought about. Well, maybe I will, like, I have an extra one that I'm using for photography equipment, that I thought I could store that somewhere else because I'm a professional photographer, and use that and bring that back and forth between my work area and the couch. But I think I want a tote, and a tote is less likely that the dogs can get to it and like eat my journaling stuff. Jada is good. They're making a grocery list. I like making lists. They're my favorite thing to do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I use the Jibun Techo days, is because I get to make really long lists every single day. I seriously love me a good list, and I can't wait until I finally am done setting up my Midori MD notebook, because it's a book of lists. Jada is like, have you seen the Delphonics pouches? They seem roomy. No, I have not, and I'm wondering if I can find it still on my Amazon wish list, the one that I have been looking at. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I can find your account. Nope, that's not what I want. Your lists. I don't like the Canadian app. It's sometimes a little bit... Or did I remove it thinking, no, actually, Jules, you don't need that. Oh, I think I might have removed it. Maybe I put it on my birthday list. Nope. Okay, so crafting tote. It might come up in ones that I've previously... Here it is. This is... Let's see if I can get it without the glare. I've been looking at this one over and over again. In the gray, it has... Oh, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't really see the pockets because of the white balancing my camera's doing. But yeah, this is what I've been eyeing. So, I'm gonna put this back on my wish list because I don't know. It's at $43 right now, which isn't bad Canadian. So I don't know. That's like $30 or $25 American. And there's also like the sewing machine carry one. Okay, I'm putting. Where's my wish list? Let me add it to my add to wish list. Wish list. So I've been going back and forth between that one and hoping to find it on a warehouse deal or something similar. Data is saying that they like it. Architect Destiny has a good tour of her journal tote on her YouTube channel. Oh, I'm gonna write that down so I can check that out. Where on this one, I have a recommendations list. Here we go. So, Architect Destiny. Journal tote tour. Journal tote tour YT. Just so I know for sure. She uses Jibun Techos too. Oh! Amazing. It's really difficult. I keep trying to find other people who use a Jibun Techo, and they... Oh, okay, hold on. I got something in my eye. They don't come up too easily and search all the time. So that will be nice to check out. Okay, let's finish coloring this in. So I can, yeah. Social media, that's what I'm on next. I know that color too. GG. This is my favorite part, is where everything, I can actually start seeing what I'm doing this week instead of it just being a mess of letters and lines. And oh, I still have to put my washi tape down here. Wow. I'm really not with it today. I'm so distracted. Just knowing that Monday is coming up soon. And what that means, this is going to be an admin day, which is number 1. Come on, there we go. Okay, deadline. Sub day, going out on submission. Number 8. Not really. It's not really a deadline. I don't have to do anything except for try and get some work done and not constantly refreshing my email like it's tracking, knowing that it's probably going to be months before I even get the first rejection. And yeah. What color am I looking for? I know. LCG. But this has been a long time in the making. And I'm hoping, even though it's like the odds are not, like how quickly my first book went from me querying it to it being published is like a complete exception to the rule of publishing. But there is a small part of me, especially because we are in this first round. So a lot of time I'll talk about this for people who may not be interested, but who may not understand. So a lot of times when an agent takes your book out in submission, they normally don't submit to smaller, mid-sized or smaller publishers until, and I'm saying hopefully the wait won't be that too long. Yes, so they normally put smaller publishers like on way down on the list, like towards the end, third or fourth round. Like all the big publishers have rejected the book, and then we're going to shop you out to smaller publishers because smaller publishers usually with that means smaller advances. But we are on this first round going out to both small, medium, and big publishers, and there's still a lot of big publishers left over to submit to afterwards, right? Like we're doing a mix because that is I've worked with, like, my first book was done with a small independent publisher, and I'm okay with doing a smaller advance, getting more royalties quicker. Also because I live in Canada, there's grants that are available to me to help me to live while I go through the editing process and all that. It's easier for me in Canada going the small publishing route, and my agent is fine with that. So there is a small holding out for hope that again, I have that lightning in a bottle. They get the query letter and the manuscript from my agent. They're so excited by it that they devour my book in one setting because it's like 60,000 words, so it takes like 5 to 6 hours to read. They might want to take some breaks though for emotional reasons because it is at turns heartbreaking and heartwarming. It's a very emotional book. But like there's a small part of me that is hoping for that really fast, oh my god, we love it, we need this book, let's start a bidding war. And I'm only thinking that's possible because we are doing a mix of big publishers and small publishers instead of all big publishers. But there's also the realistic part of me that is like, that's not the journey. I could be waiting somewhere up to 2 years now before I even have a contract, and then it's 2 years after that before it's published. So, but there's always the chance that lightning is going to strike me twice, and I won't be disappointed if it doesn't. But I know the Canadian publishing world. I know what they're looking for, and so it's not an unrealistic hope to be like, maybe I will have some exciting news in 4 months. Maybe. We'll see. And that way, I won't feel like I'm postponing my ability to think The saving grace, as I was telling my trainer the other day, is that I'm working on developing my next cookbook, and that is keeping me busy. If I didn't have that to work on right now, I would absolutely not be having a good time with things right now. That's for sure. So, journaling color, what is that? 942. Is this one? Yes. Congratulations, Jules. You did it on the first try. Oh. And it feels really weird to be saying I'm working on my third book. Really weird. That's also not typical. A lot of authors have like a one book career. And it's not to say my second book or my third book's ever gonna get published too. Okay, writing. CG. I just had that in my face. Where did I put it? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, meetings. What's this one? This is starting to look like something. I still have to color that and my body tracking. Will I have time to get it all done? We will see. Jada saying, I wish you all the luck in publishing. I've always wanted to publish a book, but the whole process seems daunting. But the world needs our stories. Yes. And it is daunting, 100%. I think the reason, so I have a little bit of an advantage, not in like giving me the leg up as far as like a leg in the door type thing. In the it not being as daunting to me, like knowing the industry beforehand, because I worked in and adjacent to publishing for somewhere between 10 and 20 years now. So I know publishing, the industry inside and out. I'm friends with a lot of authors. I worked at a small publisher for a bit. So it wasn't it wasn't like this mystical thing that I had to learn about and crack. I knew what to do going into it, and I know what sells, and I know what editors are looking for. I had an advantage in that way, where I didn't have to spend time doing all of that research about how to get an agent and what is a query letter and what is it supposed to look like and like what is that process of querying, what needs to be in a manuscript. Like I knew all of that stuff going in. I knew the pros and cons between going traditional publishing and self-publishing, and being able to figure out what is the best for me. So, in that way, I had an advantage. Only because a lot of that work, like, was done going into the process for me. So, a lot of, like, I was able to avoid a lot of the mistakes that many first-time querying authors make, and that kind of delay the process for them. And second, living in Canada, Canadian publishers, there's programs for Canadian stories and Canadian authors, and there is a more concerted effort by Canadian publishers to get diverse voices out there. So, like, normally you cannot submit 673 to a big publisher unless you have an agent. Like, it's usually all done through an agent. But in Canada, one of the big publishers will let you, as an author, submit to them if you are from an underrepresented community. So specifically Indigenous, Black, person of color, disabled, or part or queer in some way, part of the Legibitiqua, as they say on TikTok, um, rainbow. So it's a little bit easier in Canada in those ways if you are a historically excluded voice to get published. And so in that way too, I have that little bit of an advantage. And I don't want to say it's an advantage. I'm laughing at the Legibitiqua. It's just it's a evening of the playing field is happening in different ways. I mean, it's happening in American publishing too, but American publishing doesn't have the same programs like that to actively level out the playing field. 679, there we go. So I also love the Alphabet Mafia personally. Yes. The first time I heard like someone earnestly say that because they didn't know on TikTok, I almost died. And I'm like, I need to from now on say Legibitiqua. Because yes, Legibitiqua is is I 100% I stand for a Legibitiqua. And if it is your first time hearing Legibitiqua, you're welcome. You are welcome. Oh shoot, I forgot. Let's see, what color was that? Oh, I'm running out of time. Jada is saying, yes, too funny. I definitely think the American market is looking for diversity as well, but they don't support it in the same way. You either get an MFA or just good luck. Yeah. I mean, and publishers, like there's a whole, my agent is one of the founding members of diversity or disability in publishing. Um, and they are actively, color am I looking for, trying to at least like make publishing more disabled. 273. There's stuff happening. It's just slow. There's more, and it's also like the American market is bigger than the Canadian market. I know America's saying yes, the American market is very competitive. Yes, exactly. It is bigger. Um, so it's not as when the market is bigger, it's not as easy to quickly shift gears. Another difference is that the Canadian government puts in hundreds of millions of dollars every single year into creating Canadian art. So, like, we have the Canada Council for the Arts, which gives grants to writers, artists, where we get paid like $25,000 a year from the Canadian government to not work on anything but our art. And so, and they also subsidize small publishers so they can compete against the big publishers. And that's something that the American market doesn't have. Like small publishers come and go almost every single day in the American market because they don't have the government helping them to compete against the big five. So it's like sink or swim. So in that ways, and we also have mandates, like Canadian publishers have mandates to publish, to prioritize Canadian voices over other voices, because for the longest time, up until the 80s, our market was dominated by mostly American and British stories. And so the Canadian government, in all of its wisdom, decided that needs to change. Anomic is saying they have to head out a few minutes early. It was good chatting with everyone. I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping in, Anomic. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I will see you next week. And yeah, I have time to add a little bit of deco to this before it's also time for me to say goodbye. Oops. I do not like the lids on these ones. It's very difficult to open up the washi box and not have washi explode all over the place. Oh, I still have to color in that. Crud. Okay, I'm going to do the washi first. I will get all of this colored in before it's time to end things in 5 minutes, if my life depends on it. But my washi tape is not telling me where the end is, so maybe I won't. There we go. Oh, I cut my nails too short. Hate when I do that. There's a fine line between having them tidy and too short for me to be able to deal with stickers. So put this upside down. Okay, yeah, here. There we go. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. And then, yes, here, there, and then steps down, and one more. And then I gotta get my dog stickers out for dog food making days, and then I think I'm done setting up this week. Oh no, I have the washi trim I have to put on. Okay, will I be able to do both things before the stream is over? We will see, but I forgot what I was just going to do. Dog stickers. I think it's in this one. These are from Sticky Club. They don't sell these specific ones anymore because these are not their artist-made stickers. These are the ones from when they first opened, and a lot of their supply was from like Shein and Alibaba. And then let's put this back. Oh, birthday sticker for my dog's birthday on... I don't have room. There's already a dog on their birthday day. So that's fine. Okay. And let's see if I have time to put on the border. Just one little extra flavor of deco that I like to do. This washi I got on Amazon. And I'm pretty sure this is like either an Alibaba or Shein buy that they are reselling or resold. I don't think it's still available on Amazon, but it was like a bag of 100 rolls of 3.5 millimeter washi tape. I think it's 3.5. I think some of it might actually be smaller, might be around 2 millimeters. But I like it for... When I got it, I'm like, that's too small. And then I started using Jibun Techo. Yes, this is in frame. And I'm like, well, I can use it for this. Just adds a little bit more texture to the page. Okay. I think that is done. So this is how my week is starting. And then eventually it will look like this. It will end up at some point. So yeah, on Wednesday I'm filming my January flip for my days and biz, and I don't know if I'll have it up this week. If I don't have it up this week, it will be up next week. So that's happening. And other than that, I will see you all next Saturday, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. British time, for another hour and a half of sitting and talking and planning. And if you are watching this on um, replay, thank you. You guys are amazing. It's amazing how many of you guys watch this. You folks watch this during the week. So I hope everyone have a safe and fantastic week. Thank you, Jada, for stopping in. Thank you to everyone who lurked. And until next week, have a great time. Bye.